Reggie from the front row report. Let's move that chair. And we're in Noblesville, Indiana on Warped Tour 2016. We got Connor from Ice Nine Kills. How's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Awesome, man. Warped Tour this year. Not your first Warped Tour. You guys are touring a lot this year. Let's just start off early. Going from just a regular tour, jumping onto a Warped Tour and stuff like that. Is it tough? Is it a tough transition to make doing something like that? Or, I mean, do you prefer to do stuff like that, where you go from touring, Warped Tour, touring?
We had about 2 months off before Warped, so it gave us some time to decompress from the last tour.
That's good.
We did a music video, we played a couple festivals, and then it gave us about a month to kind of really like get going for Warped Tour.
Gotcha.
And it took that because we built like all our stage setup and everything. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Pretty hands-on.
Nice. I'm excited to see you guys. I saw you guys. In about a year and a half, I saw you guys at the Emerson. I think you played a one-out before today, I think.
Yeah. That's February.
Yeah, which was my first Ice Nine Kills show. Had to get the shirt. I bought the American Psycho
Nice.
shirt. Fucking love that shirt. Genius. But man, you guys are kind of Warped Tour veterans at this point. You played it before. Is it important to you to have a festival, a touring festival where you've got bands who are basically vets? You've done it numerous times, touring with the guys that have done it for the first time, kind of showing them the ropes and helping out, and also gives you a chance to kind of discover some new bands you maybe weren't aware of.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that Warped Tour is like the best. It's the tour
Yeah.
that kind of, if you work hard, you can take your band from here to here, because you're just being exposed to 90% of the fans in
Yeah.
a certain area. And, the first year we did it, we weren't even playing the tour, we were selling CDs in the line.
Wow.
And now we're, pretty established band on one of the main
Yeah.
stages. So and it seems like it takes forever, but in 5-6 years it can do a lot for you.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that, I mean, just a few years ago, I mean, you were, you're doing that now, you're closing one of the stages. I mean, do you ever get a chance to sit back and just think, man, look at how far we've come? And it hasn't even been that a long period of time either that it's happened.
Yeah, and it's kind of humbling sometimes to, when I'll go, because I take it for granted, and we all do, just from repetition.
Yeah.
Doing it so many times, you just kind of lose sight of how cool it is sometimes. When I was out, we were home for me the other day in Buffalo, and I had a bunch of family out, and it was cool because my brother was down there watching us from the crowd, and for me to look back and be like, wow, I remember when I was that kid in the crowd looking at the bands and thinking how cool that was, and now it's that's pretty cool.
Right, and it's we're headlining one of the main stages. It is really cool to watch. It's always fun as a fan to watch a band. You find those few bands that you like that are just staring at, and then it's you hope that one day they're going to get to that point. It's always fun to watch, especially you guys watching you start from the beginning and just grow. And I mean, the fans. How have the fans been on this tour? Because I feel like Warped Tour fans are just a breed of their own.
Yeah, we came up with this idea right before the tour to have fans make flags.
Okay.
Custom make flags that would, they could make them however they wanted, and the best one would get prizes.
Huh.
And everyone who made one gets something, a signed poster or CD or something like that.
Right.
And so, the first, I didn't know what really was going to happen, but first day, we got up there in Dallas and looked out, and there's 10 huge flags that kids were just waving that they made, and every single day it's been like that. And that's
awesome.
One of the coolest things that I've seen touring is when we start, and it really kind of brands our cult fan base, because our fans are pretty diehard. They'll buy every single CD and every piece of merch just because they love them. And it's really cool to have that connection with your fans.
Right, and I mean, I feel like a lot of fans don't always think that as far as the songs they're connecting with are songs that you guys took the time to sit down, write every note, every verse, every lyric to. And so I mean, how does it feel when you're looking out, seeing that, and these people are connecting with your art and your creations every single day?
It's pretty wild. I mean, it's cool to see, people take what they will from it, because every person interprets a song completely differently. And it's cool to hear one person say that this song did this for them, and another person say that song, they took it a completely different way, but it did something else for them. And that's, I think, the beauty of music in general.
Yeah.
It's just people interpret it however they want.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're coming up on, is it what, about 7 or 8 months now since the record release, I think?
Yeah, it was
Not-
December.
Yeah, not quite a year. But looking back on writing that record, what really stands out to you about that songwriting creation process for you guys compared to previous writing sessions?
It always seems like it's super rushed, but that's just because when you tour 8 months out of the year, it's just
Yeah.
hard to sit down and focus on something when you have the time to do it.
Right.
This one was interesting because we kind of took the concept for every track to be about a different piece of literature. So in a way, we did it by accident with the first, with Me, Myself, and Hyde as a bridge track.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we just did it and we're like, all right, let's see how this goes over, and it went over really well. And so that kind of gave us the blueprint for the whole album, but then to take all those songs that were books and then turn them into songs that didn't sound like we were just reading a book was definitely a task, and our singer Spencer and our producer Steve really nailed it, with like the lyrics especially.
How'd you guys come up with that concept? 'Cause that's a really cool concept.
Like I said, it was kind of accidental. Like we
Okay.
did the Me, Myself, and Hyde, and just the way that like the vocals panned out at first, it was very like dual personality, kind of like the singing and the screaming back and forth. So
Yeah.
Spencer just came up with the idea to do it about that book,
Okay.
and then it just kind of went from there.
Awesome. So after Warped Tour, I mean, with the album not even had a year being in your role, I assume more touring for the rest of the year?
Yeah, we're pretty well booked into December now.
Okay.
We're doing a headliner that starts 3 weeks after this, with our friends Secrets, Siler, Cover Your Tracks, and Out Came the Wolves.
Nice.
That goes into October, and then we go to Europe for a couple weeks, headlining there, and then doing like, we do these Thanksgiving festival shows that we've
Okay.
been playing for a few years, and we do those and then go into Canada, and that'll pretty much close out the year for us.
Awesome, awesome. Then more touring in 17, or sit down and maybe start looking what another album could be?
Yeah, we looking at tours right now, like January, February,
Okay.
and then we'll see kind of how that all plays out.
Awesome. Well, man, dude, thanks for taking time to talk to me. Can't wait to see the set. That's one that I have to see today, especially with the flags. I hope there's a lot of fun
I did
today.
too. We do pretty well. Indy's usually a good market for us.
Yeah, yeah. The Emerson seemed pretty packed when you guys were there last.
It's
So.
pretty close to sold out, I think.
Yeah, so man, it's gonna be good. But man, guys, if you're out there, check out Ice Nine Kills on this tour or the upcoming ones. Won't be disappointed, man. We'll see you out there.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Awesome, thanks, man. I appreciate it.